Sorry, I was just playing this game called Life. Like most of us, we spend our lives playing life on demo mode because we believe ourselves to be a character in the game of life, and we are here to complete a certain mission, to achieve a certain purpose. Some people are on a self-improvement journey to improve themselves and max out all their skills, and some people are on a spiritual journey attempting to achieve this end goal of enlightenment. But enlightenment is realizing that you are not the character in the video game, but you are the one behind the screen with the controller in your hands. Even if we max out all of our skills and accumulate all the riches in the game, we will still not be satisfied. Because this life is a life of change. We will always need more. And if we build the foundation of our life on that which changes, one day the floor will be swept from underneath us, and we will find ourselves in the abyss, in the underworld, and we will be afraid. And that is called a midlife crisis. Because we discover that everything we thought we knew was not actually true. That we have spent all of this time living in an illusion. You have to be careful. Because on the spiritual path, in this whole realm of spirituality, it is easy to get stuck in this spiritual identity. I mean, look at this fancy robe. And this. And this. And this. And this. Don't worry, it's just all for show. The reason that we are living on demo mode is because so long as we are identified with the character in the game, we are limited. We are stuck in this matrix. But once you realize that you are behind the screen, there is great relief. There is great freedom. There is great peace. And you don't worry so much about what happens in the game, but now you can live your life from a place of freedom. In the game, there may be danger, but you are not in danger. There may be anger, but you will not be angry. There might be fear, but you will not be afraid. There may even be pain, but you will not be in pain. It is the difference between saying, I am in pain, and there is pain arising in my experience. I am angry versus there is anger arising in my experience. At one level, you are heavily attached to your experience. On the other level, whatever it is you are experiencing, there is space. And in this space, there is freedom. If you believe that you are the character, you think that you have to figure everything out. The burden of the world is on your shoulders. And look at all the trauma that you have to deal with and heal and figure out. Look at all of these flaws that you have to improve. How much work is cut out for you. So much. So much to do, so much to become. And you take it all so seriously. But when you realize that you are behind the screen with the controller in your hand, you can play the game of life and have fun. And you don't have to take it so seriously. Everybody you know is method acting. They believe themselves to be the character in this movie. But in this universe, there are many characters, but there is only one actor. And that actor is you. That actor is the same one divine intelligence flowing through all things. You might call it life. You might call it God. You might call it existence itself. But it is all the same one energy. Life is a monologue. The same one intelligence communicating with itself through an infinite array of different forms. You might even say there are no human beings. but only one collective consciousness that is using the human vessel in order to evolve itself forward. Through this realization, you begin living your life a very different way. Because you stop seeing people, you stop seeing separation, and you start seeing God everywhere. But so long as we are identified with this character, we believe in separation, and we can only see other separate forms. And so long as we are living in separation, we are living in illusion and out of alignment with the truth. And living in this world of darkness, in unconsciousness, in illusion, the forces of evil reign supreme because this is their world, it's their territory. But once you awaken, you become free from their tyranny. You become free from that suffering. Look, the problem is we have spent a lifetime of conditioning, believing ourselves to be the character in this video game. So how do we achieve this freedom? If being on the spiritual path is living life on demo mode, what do? How do we realize ourselves as the one behind the screen with the controller in our hands? You see, it is often said that the spiritual journey ends the moment you realize that there is no distance to the destination and that there is no one to embark on a journey. That is enlightenment. Once you come to this realization, you achieve something I call prestige. And prestige is something in video game terms, which means that once you beat the game, or once you max out your skill level, you can choose to restart at the beginning. Everything resets. But now you get a special badge that marks the previous progress that you have made, and this badge is enlightenment. So what happens when you reach this realization? Life restarts, and you begin again from where you are currently at. Except this time, you start playing life from a completely different vantage point. You start playing life from behind the screen, not as the character. Until this point, the true game of life does not begin, because we have thousands of attachments keeping us a slave to 1,000 different things. And we are influenced by forces outside of our control, by the system, by the laws, by other people. But once you reach the other side of what I speak about, you are free. And what will happen after this point is that there will be a kind of ping-pong effect where you believe you are the character, and then you realize that you are the one behind the screen, and then you fall back into belief that you are the character once again, and then back to your true place. And the game of life from that point on is a letting go of attachments, is a surrendering, and it is a playing the game of life to its absolute fullest capacity. You see, we are all born in perfect harmony. We only become out of harmony through our conditioning, through the strengthening of our minds, through our identification in illusion, in that which changes. And so I say to you, find the one who is unchanging. What within you is eternal. Self-inquiry is the practice of becoming free from illusion. You continuously ask yourself the question, who am I? And you realize through direct experience that anything that you can observe can never be the real you. Because when you observe something, there is always the object of your observation and a subject there to observe that object. So you always have to be the subject. So you begin observing all of the things that arise in your experience. Can I observe my body? Can I observe my thoughts? Can I observe my mind? And piece by piece, you begin disidentifying from all the things in your experience. And you are led to the one thing that is left that cannot be observed. Spiritual teacher Mooji calls it a non-phenomenal recognition, meaning you realize yourself as the observer of all things. You also find that within your body there is a sensation right now of inner spaciousness, of emptiness. It is the same space within you as it is around you. You recognize that you are this emptiness, this spaciousness. And that when you trace back the source of your awareness, what do you find? You find nothing. Because what you are cannot be experienced. It cannot be observed. Because it is not an object. But it is eternal. Because it is unchanging. When you break reality down to its fundamental parts, there are only ever two things that exist. There is an infinite array of changing experiences upon the backdrop of an unchanging awareness. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, there is always changing experiences, and there is always you there as awareness to experience. Whether in the waking state, whether in the dream state, even the state of deep sleep is another changing experience. You are the same awareness in your mother's womb as you will be in the moment of your death, and death itself is but another changing experience. This awareness is beyond death, it is beyond space and time, it is beyond all experiences. That is why in your recognition of your true nature as awareness, you are free. And the more you stabilize in this space, the more love, peace, joy, and harmony enter into your existence. This awareness that is consciousness is the divine essence of God that you are. And the less you identify with this character, the more empty you can become, the more you align yourself with the divine power of God. And this power works and flows through you. It acts for you, it speaks for you, and it thinks for you. And so you are no longer living life from this limited character, but you begin living your life as the ultimate, absolute freedom and absolute power to create any life that you desire, to live any life that you want, because you recognize that in truth you are the creator, not just a part of creation.